Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we continue our reading of Birth of Lord Krishna, Canto 10, Chapter 3, text 33. C'est ça?
33.
Hein? 33. Yuvam Vai Brahmanadishto Prajacharje Yada Tata Saniyamya Indriyagraman Tepate Paramam Tapaha Yuvan vai brahmani dishto Yuvan vai brahmana dishto Raja sarje yadatataha Praja sarje yadatataha Saniyam yendriya graman Saniyam yendriya graman Tepate paramam tapaha Tepate paramam tapaha Yuvam vai brahmana dishto Prajat sarje yada tataha Saniyam yendriya gramam Tepate paramam tapaha Yuvam brahmanadishto Ramatsarje yada tataha Saniyam yendriya graman Tepate paramam tapaha Yuvam, both of you, Krishna and Sutapa. So it's Lord Krishna who is speaking to Vasudeva and Devaki. And Prishni and Sutapa were their name in previous birth. Vai, indeed, Brahmana Adishto, ordered by Lord Brahma, who is known as Pitamaha, the father of the Prajapati. Praja Sarje, in the creation of progeny. Yada, when. Tataha, thereafter. Saniyamya, keeping under full control. Indriyagraman, the senses. Tepate, underwent. Paramam, very great. Tapaha, austerity. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sase Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So both of you were ordered by Lord Brahma to create progeny. You first underwent severe austerities by controlling your senses. Purport. Here is an instruction about how to use one's senses to create progeny. According to Vedic principle, before creating progeny, one must fully control the senses. This control takes place through the Govardhan Rapsamskar. In India, there is great agitation for birth control in various mechanical ways, but birth cannot be mechanically controlled. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 13:9, Janma mrityu chara vyadi dukkha doshanum darshanam. Birth, death, old age, and disease are certainly the primary distresses of the material world. People are trying to control birth, but they are not able to control death. And this one cannot control death, one cannot control birth either. In other words, artificially controlling birth is not any more feasible than artificially controlling death. According to Vedic civilization, procreation should not be contrary to religious principle, and then the birth rate will be controlled. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 7:11, Tamavirudo bhuteshu kamasmin. Sex not controlled, not contrary to religious principles, is a representation of the Supreme Lord. People should be educated in order to give birth to good children through samskar, beginning with the Govardhan samskar. Birth should not be controlled by artificial means, for this will lead to a civilization of animals. If one follows religious principles, he automatically practices birth control, because if one is spiritually educated, he knows that the after effects of sex are various types of misery. Bauduka Bhajan. One is spiritually advanced. One who is spiritually advanced does not indulge in uncontrolled sex. Therefore, instead of being forced to refrain from sex or refrain from giving birth to many children, people should be spiritually educated, and then birth control will automatically follow. If one is determined to make spiritual advancement, he will not beget a child unless able to make the child a devotee. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 5:18, Pita nasa syat, one should not become a father unless one is able to protect his child from mrityu, the path of birth and death. But where is there education about this? A responsible father never begets children like cats and dogs. Instead of being encouraged to adopt artificial means of birth control, people should be educated in Krishna consciousness, because only then will they understand their responsibility to their children. If one can beget children who will be devotees and be taught to turn aside from the path of birth and death, Mitru Samsara Vatmani, there is no need of birth control. Rather, one should be encouraged to beget children. Artificial means of birth control have no value. Whether one begets children or does not, a population of men who are like cats and dogs will never make human society happy. It is therefore necessary for people to be educated spiritually, so that instead of begetting children like cats and dogs, they will undergo austerities to produce devotees. This will make their lives successful. Om Ganatiminandasya Gananchara Sharakalai Shachuruminitam Yena Tasma Shigurave Namaham Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutare Swaya Rupa Karamadhyam Darati Swaparantikam He Krishna Karina Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sutudevi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakarpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Relire le verset.
Yes. So Vishnu speaking to Vasudeva and Devaki,
Vishnu?
both of you were ordered by Lord Brahma to create progeny. You would first underwent several austerities by controlling your senses.
C'est Vishnu parce que c'est Krishna sous la forme de Vishnu.
Comment?
C'est Krishna qui est encore sous la forme de Vishnu qui parle à ses parents. Quoi.
Oui. In the Swayambhuva millennium, you were known as Prishni and Vasudeva, under the name of Sutapa, Prishni and Sutapa. So here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is speaking and remembering both of his devotees, Vasudeva and Devaki, the film, what was before, what's going on in the present. Krishna, because Bhavishani Chamutani Mam Tuvedanu Kashchana. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that he knows the present, the past, the future, but nobody knows. Nobody knows Krishna. He knows everything, the past, the present, and the future as well. So for us, it's difficult to understand how we are living in a long line of past activities. And most of people will be living a long way of future activities, material activities, that will generate, again, the continuation of the film. It's like a film, like nowadays everything is digitized. But in the past, everything was on a chemical film, very long. So when you come in a cinema, you are late and you come in between, at the middle of the film, you don't understand really what's going on, because you have not seen the beginning. So you cannot so much project what will be the future. So this is our position due to the influence of ignorance, which is so strong on the conditioned souls. We have difficulty to remember even things we were doing in a few hours before, what to speak of a few days or weeks or years before. We just have a perfume of what it was when we were young. An overall view, some scars, some impression are there and are embedded in our memory. But what's going on in the past life, generally we don't have access to this. In some stories in the Laijat Bharat, we have in the Srimad Bhagavatam, where some special souls could have the remembrance of what they were doing in their past lives. But these are special souls. They have special ability to remember what they were doing. And if he is still intelligent, he will understand well. Karmic laws are indeed very strong and I'm entrapped in it, but somehow or other, I got a glimpse of what I was doing in the past. So I have to take some measure so that it doesn't happen again. Somebody who has intelligence, he understands, to prepare his next jump to into another cage, because he will be obliged to. Like parents who take care of the children. If the children is intelligent, he knows that he have to study, practice some austerity, fill up his brain with some skills, something that will enable him in the future to have means of income so that he can live peacefully. Somebody intelligent is like that. So somebody who is more intelligent can understand that this body is just perishable, but the soul is not. Then he makes some calculation as to make a betterment of his future life. So people in the past, in the Vedic times, everybody was in this mood, and everybody were convinced of doing pious activities in order to secure a good future. Even demons like Hiranyakashipu or Kamsa understood the laws of karma, he understood reincarnation. So he understood, if I kill my sister, when there was this voice echoing from the sky, saying that he would be killed by the eighth son of Vasudeva and Devaki. So he refrained from killing his sister, because he could foresee that it will be very bad for him for the future, immediate future, as far as reputation is concerned, but also in future lives. He could understand that. So he restrained from horrendous or ugra karma activities. There is different kind of activities, but ugra karma, there is karma, vikarma, and ugra karma. Vikarma are nefarious activities that give bad results. But ugra karma, ugra means terrific, horrendously terrible activities. These are ugra karma. So in a purport of Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada explains that those who are developing these atomic bombs on the pretext of security, humanity, so many babbling, speech, are in no way destined to the peaceful situation of the humanity at large, but rather are meant for destruction of the world, destruction of humanity. So these people are in their mind full of ugra karmas, projection and plans, and they accomplish it by the will of the Lord when He wants to change everybody. So we see that in the past people could understand that to produce something good they have to do some austerities. Karmis understand that also. They undergo baccalaureate, the driving license, then upgrade study, then a master, then a postgrad master, all this to secure good job, good intelligence to produce so-called good products that will, they think, help humanity. Actually, because of ignorance, they are completely twisted, and it will be the opposite. But the principle is still there, that in order to get something out of the ordinary, something of better quality, something more refined, you have to undergo some austerities so that you can refine your mind, and with this will refine your activities and will give birth to refined products. So people in the past were interested mainly in getting good progeny. It was really devastating news when a couple didn't have a son, especially kings. They were so much in anxiety because of not getting any son, like Chitraketu. He had so many wives, hundreds, I don't know, thousands, I don't remember the name.
Hein?
16 millions.
16 millions.
16 millions. 16 millions, and not a single one gave him birth to a child. So he was grieved like anything. Then he went to see some sages, and the sages said him, accomplish this kind of austerity, or I will give you some boons for that. So for that you have to be a friend of the sage, or do something to please them in order to get their boons. So the warriors, they were also in this predicament, or I will be able to vanquish my enemies. I have to get some weapons. So they will undergo some severe austerities in the forest or in company of sages in order to attract the boons from a demigod or many demigods. And like that, you will have some weapons imbued with the Shakti of those demigods that you will invoke at the time of war, and they will help to kill a kind of enemy with this particular weapon. So all of this didn't appear all of like a mushroom like that. It will take a lot of austerities, penances, and like that to get the result, because in the material world, it's a process for everything. You have to do things from A, B, C, D, the whole alphabet to get the result. And if you do something wrong, you don't get. This is how it works. So similarly in the spiritual life, Krishna gives us a path. Practice this kind of austerities and direct them toward me. Bhaktaram yagatapasyam savarokam maheshwaram suridam savabhutanam yatta shantim richati. You will have peace. You will not only get nice result, but you will be shanti. You will be peaceful. You will go in between the three gunas. You will have my protection as well. If the practitioner is more serious, he will have the protection of the Lord, and the Lord will give him some facilities in his spiritual life. So the boon for the devotees is he gets protection of the Lord, and he gets enlightenment. Tesham satatayutanam bhajatam pritipuvakam. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite. Agyanantamaha. This light, the torch light, will dissipate the darkness of ignorance. This is what Krishna says to the boon he gives to the devotee. He gives them intelligence by which they will be able to come to him. So according to the motivation of the devotee or the practitioner, he will get this result or that result, depending on how his practice are tinted with the trigonas, or furthermore, how his intelligence is contaminated by the trigonas, and he makes his ideal in life, his target will be this, and this is tinted by the trigonas. So the practice and everything will be tinted by the trigunas. But for the devotees, there's no trigunas. Trigunya Vishaya Vedanish Triguna, Bavarchuna. Krishna says to Arjuna to transcend the trigunas, which are in general advocated by the general populace and by scriptures. Go ahead, the trigunas. Do things in a transcendental way to please me. When we follow the path given by Krishna, we are in a secure one, and we get result little by little. So the point is that you cannot concoct your own way of progressing in spiritual life, but you have to follow the way Krishna wants you to follow. Then it will work. Otherwise, you don't know what will happen. It will happen something. You do austerities, you will get result. But they will not be transcendental. They will be tainted by the triguna. So these people, these kings, who wanted sons, who wanted progeny, their desire were tinted by the trigunas. But generally, they were motivated by goodness, because in those past times, goodness was prevalent, but not always. Demons were getting sons, naturally oriented toward sinful activities. Like the Prahlad families, he had a son which name was what was his name? Alad. Prahlad, Alad. Brothers of Prahlad was Alad. He was a demon, and he understood. Prahlad was a kind of different personality. And at first he was ranging on the side of his father. But then he realized that he had some super excellent qualities. Later on, after Hiranyakashipu was destroyed, he became somewhat a devotee. He changed his mind. So, the mind can be changed, everything can be changed according to the tenets of intelligence. What is the priority in your life? So devotees are those who have a purified intelligence, but demons have a contaminated intelligence. Those they will want a nice wife, nice salary, nice position, nice elephant or Lamborghini, nice so many things. They think that they will make they will better make a betterment of the prison house. Mentally, then physically also. They don't realize that mentally they are forging the bars of their future prison by contemplating such targets in their lives. They don't understand the trick of the material energy. Our material energy is tricking them. They don't see it. Sometime at the time of death, they realize they've been tricked, because you become automatically, because the body is so weak, so useless, and so heavy, and so painful. They realize all this life, all these things, but it's too late. They cannot change the course of their lives, because like c'est au bord, like la pète, comment dire, a bowling ball. They are the end of the railways. It cannot change. They may realize, they may take some measure, but it's too late. The mind is already running like a crazy donkey. Cannot control. It's too late. You are victim of. But you have some realization that you've been prejudiced, victimized, brainwashed, because the people they say you are brainwashed, but who is brainwashed? Everybody is brainwashed because the mind is made for being like a sponge, sucking the combination of the trigunas around, or above the triguna if you choose to wash your brain in such a way that it will be purified. It's all a question of intelligence and trying to determine the best goal in our lives. That's why disseminating this knowledge given by Sri Prabhupada is utmost service for the humanity at large, because people will understand why it is important to produce a good consciousness, produce good children also, produce good everything. Even materially speaking, people are in so much dismay as to what to do, what not to do. That's the stamp, the mark of the demons. They don't know what to do, what is to be done. And they realize that it's too late, that they've done so many mistakes. Because mistakes, they take quite some time to give their fruits visible, understandable. So they have no intelligence that makes them discernate what is good for people, what is not good. And even the sense of good or bad, they speculate and they advocate and they go into justice court, or they disguise, they speculate about even the good values, bad values. It is all a trip of the mind. Just do it. Who cares? They don't care. But animals, other population will care, and Krishna cares. And after some time, the result becomes catastrophic for the whole of society, the animals, the plants, the trees, the air, the water become contaminated. And people still have no brain, that they don't understand that their mentality is contaminated. Their mind is contaminated, their activities are contaminated, then the whole of the planet becomes contaminated. It becomes a hell for a saintly person. And sometimes we are wondering how this movement will happen to seduce people in a large scale. How will be it possible? How people will renounce their attachment to so many useless gadgets, comforts. But Krishna knows, he have a plan. He have a plan. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada also explained a lot about producing children of good qualities. And he explained that people who try to control birth, they imagine that they control birth, but on the whole they cannot. No more than they can control death. Nobody can do control of birth or death, because it is all under the control of the material energy, which is above the control of the human beings. Maya dakshina pakriti suyatesha charatara etunana konteya jagat viparivartate. Devi Prakriti is divine. The Prakriti is divine. But we think we are in charge of it and we can exploit it as we want. And then we extract so many metals, petrol, facilities, this, that. But it's like a boomerang. You think you throw it, but it will be back on your face after some time. Takes some time. You don't realize all of a sudden like that. Sometimes yes, but generally the bija pradpita. The bija, the seeds, they take some time to sprout and grow and give fruits. We have experience of earth like that. So activities, same way, takes some time. So Srila Prabhupada was saying that sex, when it's engaged in producing devotees, with the responsibility of educating, because sex doesn't take some time, but educating a child really takes time and a lot of energy. So someone who is responsible can produce as many children as he wants, if he is able to educate them to get rid of death, old age, disease, sickness. So Srila Prabhupada states this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, spoken by Rishabhadev to his children, Pitana Sasyat. One should not become a father unless he is able to protect his child from mrityu, the path of birth and death. So, of course, Rishabhadev is an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he produced a lot of children who went in the forest and practiced austerities. So he was speaking this so that the humanity at large should concentrate on the quality of the consciousness of the children they will produce, not the quality of what they will do with their hands or intelligence, but the quality of consciousness. So that's why the Govardhan samskar is advertised, because consciousness of the children will be a mix of the consciousness of the father and mother. So this secret is unknown, completely unknown from the present civilization, how to create a good progeny. First we have to tapa, like Brahma, when he was puzzled about what to do in the obscurity, in nothingness. What I'm doing? Tapaha. Vishnu said to him, practice austerity. He understood tapa. So he practiced austerities, and after some time, he became qualified to understand how to create the world, the sun, the planets, how to organize everything. So when Krishna was satisfied with his austerities, and when Krishna could see that Brahma was following what he was saying, then he empowers him to do some incredible things. He gives the intelligence. That what to the qualified people Krishna gives. Intelligence to do the service he is entitled to do. And after he could create also some progeny, but we see that the progeny he got good children, like we have the Prajapati, and of all the Prajapati, Sutapa and Prishni were most illustrious, because later on they gave birth to Lord Vishnu and Krishna himself. So they themselves undergo severe austerity, because that was the main word, tapa. Not only for Brahma, but the progeny also. Do tapa. Do austerity. Even Shiva with his disheveled and wanted to destroy everything. Cool down, tapa, do austerities. Go near Mont Meru over there, sit down in your forest, make it things nice, practice tapa. So Shiva did that. So all the sages around Marichi, the Saptarishi, and the polar stars, they are engaged in austerities, meditation mainly, and a different process of restricting their senses, controlling their mind and intelligence. So, Srila Prabhupada said for devotees, it is same thing. You practice austerities, so there is Govardhan Samskar, but there is so many other austerities for the devotees they can't practice. So Govardhan Samskar is just chanting some 50 rounds before inseminating a child in the womb of your spouse. But before that, you have to do also austerities. Not only this samskar. You have to practice also the chanting. Many people in India, they are doing that. They go in pilgrimage. They want a progeny. They go in pilgrimage. They do dan charity. They give money. They give some prashadam distribution. They do so many things because they want good progeny. In the West, it is not at all even in the mind of anyone. Everything happens just by chance. But still, from cats and dogs, Krishna transforms them. Like by a specific process, it's possible to change. But you have to know how to do. Changer les reins, to change the bell metal with some mercury, and some eating and manipulating process that nobody knows exactly nowadays. But it was possible in the past and to have some cheap gold in this way. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada used this analogy to make understand that people who are cats and dogs, by a particular process, they may be transformed in golden human beings. If someone is able to undergo the process and practice austerities, and then his mind understanding of things will happen, and he will understand how beneficial and good it is for him, because his intelligence will be purified, and he will understand how things are working, how the material nature is working, how the Triguna is working. Even they don't see Krishna, but they perceive how the way Vedic scripture describes the universe, how it works. They will understand that. Even when the sun is not in the sky, you can perceive where we are and how things are going on. So similarly with Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita spoken by Srila Prabhupada, even you don't see Krishna with you and relate with him with a sufficient purified mind and senses, still you can understand how the Triguna works, how everything is arranged in this world. By induction you can understand, yes, Krishna is behind. It's a question of time, and I will be able to touch and see and speak to him. If we practice the way it is arranged in the scriptures, you will have the eyes and the intelligence to understand, yes, that's the real thing. Simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. With rapture attention, one can control little by little the monkey-like mind and the senses, starting with the tongue, like with animals. When you have a wild cat, or wild dog, or wild deer, you will capture him by the food, good food. You give him food, he will be your friend. So you hook them up to the mouth. So similarly, this is a mystical way, but it works like that in this world. By mastering the tongue, taking prasad and vibrating the Mahamantra, one will hook up the mind and make him a friend. From a wild cat, you get a civilized cat. So from a wild mind, you will make it civilized, and you will be able to produce civilized children as well. Rantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Shri Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Moro Premanandi.
Hari Bo. Jai.
Chapatita Nam Bhavaya Vaishnava.